Hi everyone, and welcome back to Unhinged but Healthy. If you're watching this, I look so tired. I'm gonna be real, it's hair wash day. Fresh hair is never really the vibe. Like, it's nice, but like it's kind of at like an awkward point in the growing out journey where it just kind of is giving like Prince, you know, the lad vibes, but yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna talk to you today about the ultimate glow up, and I was gonna change this episode because I feel like, I mean, if you're listening to this really isn't an issue, but if you're watching this, I really don't look like I've had the ultimate glow up right now. But I've had a few weeks, a few tough weeks. And I've just been really drained, if you can't tell. Really very drained. And I feel pale and I feel puffy. I feel really puffy today. I am on my period and it's come with a vengeance this month. We have this bad boy right here, this hot water bottle sat on my tummy because the cramps are cramping and I am so bloated and yeah. But anyways, so yeah, we're going to talk about the ultimate glow up today. We are going I can't with my hair. Yeah, what if I do this? Is that a bit better? Not really. Tiny bit better. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna talk about the ultimate glow up. I was gonna change this episode, but I just feel like, I don't know, I say this, I do it all the time. What if I move this down? Would that do anything? Would I look better? Would I look a little bit better? No. Yeah, so anyways, I know I do this all the time, so I don't know why I'm saying this, but like I don't really like talking about things that are going on in my life in real time. I kind of like to just like reflect and then come back to you afterwards when I've kind of learnt from them. And I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. I have done something that I've never had to do before, or not never had to do before, but never wanted to do before. And now I've actually had to do it because I was actually like, I felt the literal life being drained out of me. And again, I've somehow managed to make it my fault in my head. But yeah, so hence why I'm here in the wake up. I can't be bothered. Okay, I'm here. That's the main point. I'm here, But yeah, so anyways, let's get into this episode. So when I'm talking about the ultimate glow up, I'm on about how you treat yourself and how you look after yourself. Like, I'm not talking about like getting a lash lift and like getting your brows done and like having it tan. Like, I'm not talking like a physical, like what you can do to glow up. I'm talking about, like energy and like just how you come across as a person. Like, my dog's outside my door, just like those kind of things, like an actual glow up in like the person that you are, not just in like a physical way, So yeah, the ultimate glow up shows up in how you treat yourself and how you look after yourself. And this is so true, because I feel like there is such a difference in how you look when you speak to yourself in a certain way, or when you have a certain mindset, like in a negative way, than how you look. Than how you look when you have a more positive mindset, or even like when the negative things hit you, like you are kinder to yourself, you know? So ways that you can do this. So number one, rewiring negative thought patterns. And this isn't always going to be easy. Like, I have dealt with this a lot recently, where like I've been really triggered, and like I've just had a lot of like, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm going to be yawning throughout this whole episode. But yeah, so like my eyes are watering. Yeah, so I've been like really triggered recently, and it's not always easy to like try and change your thought patterns. And you know, like I've been trying to like, I've been watching Margarita Nazarenko a lot recently, and like how she said, like, to become secure, like, is in attachment style, like you need to act secure, like you need to wake up one day and you need to act secure. And like, this is what I've been trying to do, like in a recent situation. Like, it was triggering my anxious attachment style like crazy, and it won some days, I can't lie. It got me, and it just kind of you know, and I just kind of went but like other days I did catch myself, and I was acting like secure. And like in this situation that I'm in now, like I've tried to act in like a secure way, rather than like in an anxious way, where like I would be really like at this other person. Whereas I've kind of just like taken a step back and just kind of like, just whatever happens. Like I'm acknowledging that like something may not be for me, and instead of that triggering my anxious attachment style to like hold on to it even more, I'm just kind of like, do you know what, like maybe this isn't for me, and like that's okay. And I've tried to deal with it in a way that's not super anxious, but it's been difficult because my mind has been like, oh my god, like this and this and this and this, and it's your fault, this is your fault, this is what you've done, this is what you've done, this is what you've done to make this person treat you this way, this is what you've done, like. And it's just like, no, 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 you know, because I'm gonna slip up sometimes, we're all gonna slip up sometimes, and other people should have the grace to allow that to happen. And you know, so anyway, this is really getting off topic. So the reason I was talking about that is because that has been a way recently that I've been rewiring my negative thoughts. So when these thoughts have come up of like, you acted in this way, so that must be why this person is treating you this way, this must be why this person doesn't want you. Instead, I've been like, do you know what, like this situation isn't actually meeting my needs, which is why I feel anxious in the first place, and which is why it's triggering me so much, is because it's not meeting my needs, you know. And like, that's completely okay. I can't rely on every single person I meet to meet my needs, and there's not ever going to be a person that's going to meet every single one of my needs, but there is some needs that need meeting by another person, and they can't be met by me in a relationship, you know. So where was I going with this? Yeah, so that's why I've been triggered. And instead of like trying to hold on more, and just saying to like this person, like, look, like you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, like I voiced how I feel, I voiced how it could be better and how it could be resolved, and I've left it with that person, you know. And I've just kind of tried to do it like that, and then just had the thought process of like, you know what, this is nothing to do with me, this is the capacity that this person is at the moment, and that's fine, that's nothing to do with me. Doesn't mean they're a bad person, doesn't mean that they hate me, it doesn't mean that I've done anything wrong, it doesn't mean that they've done anything wrong, you know. Like, it just means that right now they can't meet my needs, and therefore we just can't, you know. Like, and that's fine, like that's fine, because there is someone out there that will be able to do those things for me, and I don't know who that's going to be, but that is a more secure way of looking at it, rather than like, I really wanted it to be this person. Why? They hate me. They hate me. They why won't they do this to me? I bet you they do it for someone else, you know. And like, this is what I've been trying to rewire in myself, and like, I feel a lot better for it. But yeah, that was just my example there, a very long example nonetheless. But yeah, just once you rewire negative thought patterns, and it's not going to be a fast process, it's going to be a very long, very draining process. But one day you do just wake up and think, do you know what, like, I literally used to wake up and look in the mirror and think like, ew. And now I wake up and I'm like, oh, I love myself, I deserve to have such a good day. Like, just being kind to myself. Like, there was a time where I looked in the mirror and I used to think like, oh my god, like, my body, like, I can't go out in public, I can't. And I still get times like that, but now I look in the mirror, and even if I don't look exactly how I want to look, I'm like, do you know what, like, there's no way I could have put on like 15 stone in a week, you know. Like, my period's probably just coming, and I'm probably just seeing myself differently right now. So, you know, like, again, like, you just need to rewire those thought processes and then stick to them for long enough that they stick in your mind, and you will feel better for it, you know. Breaking cycles, this is a rough one, this is a very hard one. Yeah, so what more can I say, you know? Breaking up with that person that doesn't treat you very well, cutting contact with family members that continue to make you feel small. I don't really know. Not letting people walk all over you anymore. There's a lot of cycles to break, you know. Again, at the moment, I'm trying not to be so anxious, and I feel like it's hard because I feel like once you have an attachment style, like, a part of that is going to be in you forever. Yeah, and I just think that's a very difficult thing. And I think, again, it's a lot of rewiring thoughts and stuff. But again, like, recently I've had the opportunity to try and like not react in certain ways when something has triggered me, and I've actually managed to do it, and I've realised now that I can do it. And yeah, it's hard. Breaking patterns is very, very hard, but I feel like you just have to know that like everything's gonna be fine. And I think, you know, deep down, like, when something isn't for you, like, say for example, like, you keep going for like the same type of person, and I feel like, you know, deep down, like, when you deserve more, and like when something isn't for you. And I feel like, you know, when you can kind of make things better in other ways. Does that make sense? Like, you just always need to have faith that like whatever is meant for you will never miss you. And if that means like you breaking this pattern means you're worried that you're going to lose something that's for you, I think you should know that like if you break a pattern, you will stop going around in a negative cycle that is literally like just not making you feel good, and therefore not making you look your best or feel your best. Like I just said, you know, you're not going to want to do productive things because you're so drained all the time, and you're not going to want to show up for yourself, you're not going to want to show up for other people, you know. But you should know that like if something is for you and you break a pattern, like it's only going to come back in a better way if it is meant for you, or if not this, then better, you know? Speaking to yourself kindly. So this is kind of like rewiring the negative thoughts, I suppose. But yeah, like I said, I've had like, growing up, I had to be like perfect. Like I literally had to be perfect. Or I would just be like scrutinized for whatever reason. And I'm so used to that now I just kind of like keep my mistakes to myself, or like if I make mistakes, like I feel like I'm the worst person in the world and I get so embarrassed. And yeah, I just get really embarrassed about it, and I shouldn't feel embarrassed about it because everyone makes mistakes and that's okay, you know. But it's difficult. Like I've had like a few things recently where like I've taken on a new class in work. It's not really new anymore, but it's not a very me class, and I make mistakes all the time. I made mistakes today, and I used to get so embarrassed and I'd get so flustered and I'd get so red and I'd be like apologising. I'd be like, sorry guys, like, oh my god, like, whereas today I was like, oh no, I messed this part up, like, it's fine, like, we'll just switch the moves around, like, it's fine, like, and they all laugh it off with you. Like, when you don't make a massive reaction to a mistake, other people won't make a massive reaction to a mistake, and the likelihood is like they probably won't even notice, you know. And even like mistakes in life, like, you know, I'd like to say like as long as you're not hurting anyone, but I feel like it's impossible to go through life without hurting people, you know, not in a bad way, but like I just do feel like somebody's not always going to be hurt by what you do, but like sometimes you are going to hurt people with the things that you do, like, and that's just that. And sometimes you do have to do the best thing for you, and if that hurts someone for whatever reason, as long as you didn't have bad intentions, like sometimes it just has to happen, you know. And it's like, again, what I was saying, I grew up with a lot of blame, a lot of anger, and that then in me growing up, my inner voice was a lot of self-blame, and I always feel like everything is my fault, and like people treat me in a certain way because of who I am, and like yeah, like, and I just feel like things don't work out because of me, and like it's been very difficult. And whereas the last time something like this happened, I was very nasty to myself. Like I uploaded a video in November of me like crying my eyes out about a situation, and like I was just blaming myself so much, and I blamed myself for months. I blamed myself for literal months. I was horrible to myself. Like it literally, it wasn't okay, and it took me months to recover from that because I thought it was my fault. Whereas now I've just been like, do you know what, like I don't care to know why somebody has done a certain thing. I don't care to know why. I don't want to understand why. So why am I going to rack my brain and drain my energy trying to figure out what I could have possibly done wrong for this to happen? You know, like I'm not going to waste my time and my energy on that, you know, and I'm not going to, certainly not going to waste my time tearing myself down because I think I've done something so awful to deserve to be treated in a certain way. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, like I don't want to feel drained. I don't, you know? So yeah, so I've been speaking to myself a lot kinder and really just being like, do you know what, like I can't control people's perceptions of me. I can't control what people think of me, and it literally doesn't matter. Like I like who I am. Yes, I make mistakes. Do I own them? I try to, you know, like all I can do is the best for me, you know. And once you start speaking to yourself kindly and you start believing those things, and those thoughts are just what pop into your head instead of the negative ones that you're replacing them with, you will just glow differently, you know. This all helps you to grow as a person, and this shows in the way that you carry yourself. And this is also very true. I feel like you can tell what kind of person someone is just by the way that they speak. and just by the way that like they show up. Like you can see when somebody shows up for themselves, you can see when somebody shows up for other people, you can see when somebody has the capacity to show up for themselves and for other people, and you can tell that they do that. Like you can tell when people take care of themselves, you know, like even when I'm having a bad time and I don't feel great, I still show up for myself. And like I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, you know, no one knew you were going through a hard time because you know, you were still showering, you still looked nice, you were still going to the gym, you were still eating well, like you were still doing everything that needed to be done. Like nothing was a mess. And don't get me wrong, like it's completely fine to have like a few a few bed rotting days, and like a few days you're just like, do you know what, the washing can just stay there, you know. But like it's never okay to neglect yourself. Like you always need to eat, you always need to shower, like, and you always like need to try and move and get yourself out. You know, take a few days, fine, don't let it take more than a week of your life, you know. And I know people out there have like literally like crippling depression. I know it's really hard, and I don't want that to sound like you always need to shower, you, and I know people don't always have the energy, but if one thing is going to make you feel better, it's going to be taking care of yourself, you know. But yeah, so I feel like when you speak to people, like people know when you've worked on yourself, you know. Like I can speak to someone and I can know if like they actually know anything about themselves, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Putting in consistent effort with the gym, nutrition, nourishing your body. Okay, there's a lot of steps here. So yeah, putting in consistent effort, definitely in the gym, like, or whatever you want to do, you know, gym, Pilates, any classes, anything like that, you know, whatever you like to do, high rocks, CrossFit, like there's a lot of things. Sports, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like putting in consistent effort with that, like it, yeah, I just had to remember what this episode is actually about. Yeah, so like it's just looking after yourself physically, you know, like even if you don't have any physical goals, you know, even if you don't want to grow your bum or have a flat tummy, or, you know, I don't know, grow your legs, whatever you want to do in the gym, even if it's just movement, like putting in that consistent effort, like either way, you're gonna see results, whether they're big or small, whatever results you want, you know, and you're gonna feel better for it. And at first it's not fun, and it's like the last 3 weeks I've been so like deflated and stuff, and I've just been doing like really light workout sessions. Like I've not done like lifted half as heavy as I usually would, but like the movement still makes me feel good. And yes, sometimes I do feel guilty for not doing a heavier session, but like when my body needs rest, like when I feel like this, I also don't want to like drain myself anymore, you know. But yeah, so once you kind of like push past that initial like, oh, I really don't want to go to the gym, like it's so hard, like it's so heavy, like, you know, like I feel like once you see results and you start to feel better and you start releasing your energy into something else, like you just do feel better for it. Nutrition and nourishing your body, again, this is something that I have struggled with. I've gone through phases of being very obsessed with my calories and my weight and like the foods I was eating, whereas now I've also gone through periods where like I've been like, oh my god, I feel like shit, like all that's going out the window, and then I just treat myself all the time and I also feel shit, you know. Like you need to find a healthy balance on this one. Same with the gym, really. Like there's been times where I've been really obsessed with it because it means I don't have to think about anything, and there's been times where I've been like out the window with that, like I'm too tired, it's not going to make me feel better, you know. Again, you have to find a good balance. But yeah, I feel like now I've kind of like hit a sweet spot with nutrition and nourishing my body. Like I kind of know what a balanced meal looks like. I kind of know like around about how much I'm eating, to the point where like I don't need to like keep a track of my calories and my notes or anything like that. And like I know that I can have like a snack or like chocolate or whatever, like without worrying that like I'm gonna gain weight and stuff, you know, like, and I know I can go for a meal out and not like absolutely spiral about whether it's gonna like ruin my progress this week. But yeah, so I feel like this one, like it kind of shows in everything, like what you put into your body really shows, like just in how you look, in how you feel, you know, like do you feel good after you've just eaten? Like, you know, like if you're just eating like non-nutritious foods all the time, or like you're just like eating out all the time, or like, you know, you're just eating like on the go, or you're not eating enough, like you're gonna feel that. And like, you know, like food is like good, is for your brain as well, you know. That may sound really stupid, I don't know. But yeah, like, you know, it shows in your skin, it shows in your body, like it shows in how you feel, like, and I feel like if you want to feel your best and look your best, like you definitely need to look at like the sources of food that you are eating. What's next? Self-care. Self-care and self-love, we will group these two together. Yeah, so again, consistency here is so important. Like even just like little like just ritualizing things, you know, like ritualizing your skincare. Like I saw a TikTok yesterday, and this woman, I say woman, she's 24, she's the same age as me, and she was like talking about how like you should really like slow down when you're doing like your skincare in the evening, because it's like really like it's a ritual, like you're getting ready for bed, like, you know, you should really make it into a big thing, like you're taking care of yourself, you know. And I notice like I kind of do just rush through my skincare routine. I'm like, right, quick, home from work, let's brush these bad boys, like get everything off, like, you know, rush through my skincare routine, get my hot water bottle on the go whilst I'm doing my skincare. And then, you know, and it's just like, why don't I just slow down? Like, why don't I just slow down and just like be here with myself and like really like actually just take care of myself? And I've noticed like I do it with my like weekly everything shower as well. Like obviously I shower more than once a week, but like my hair wash day, you know. And I'm, oh, he's crying now. Yeah. My dog, by the way, that wasn't just a random thing that I just said, my dog is crying now. Yeah, so it's like even with that, like I notice like I put oil in my hair before I go to work, I come home from work, I get in the shower, I rush to like get the shower done. And like today was like the first time in weeks where I've just kind of like stood there and been like, oh my god, like it feels so nice, like it's so nice to just have this warm water like on me, you know. And it's so nice to just kind of like feel it, you know. And then like, you know, I'll try and rush through like drying my hair and moisturizing and doing my nails, like shaping them, painting them, like, you know. And it's like I shouldn't rush through that, like I'm taking care of myself, like that is not a chore, like that's not a chore, like that is something that I get to do, I get to take care of myself, like that's a privilege, not everyone gets to do that, you know. Yeah, and it's like the same with your space as well, you know, like that is also self-care, like clear space, clear mind and stuff like that. But yeah, like when you keep up consistency with stuff like that, again, like you will see it in your skin, like you will see it, you know, like you will just see it and then you'll feel better. And I feel like it's hard to stay consistent with these things, and self-care is self-love, you know. And like whether self-love be, you know, like for me today that meant getting the pictures for my vision board whilst watching Gilmore Girls, and like I've just lit a candle and I'm recording this, like today that is what self-love meant for me. And like doing my everything shower, you know, like I don't feel great today, like I've had to make a hard decision and like I feel sad about it, like doing the right thing isn't always going to make you happy, you know. And like today I really needed to like say to myself, like, you know, what I wanted to do was go into town, go for food, but I went for food yesterday because I was feeling sad. So I went for food with my friend, and I knew like realistically if I went for food again today, like I was gonna feel shit because I went out for food last night, and like, yeah, you know. And like realistically what I wanted to go and do was just go into town, buy loads of things, buy loads of like sweet treats that like I are only gonna accumulate in my snack basket, and I'm not gonna eat them for weeks, you know, and then I'm gonna be like overwhelmed with how much I've got in there. Like I needed to filter out the things that weren't actually going to make me feel good long term, and like were just going to make me feel good in the moment, you know. Whereas like today, like what I really needed to do and not avoid doing like I have been doing is get the pictures for my vision board, record this, like, you know, just sit with myself and feel these feelings that I don't want to feel and that I'm trying to avoid, you know. But yeah, like when you consistently do this, like it will then become a pattern, and like you will feel so much better for it, and it will just kind of come naturally and easier to you. And then like you again, like you will just want to carry on doing it because it makes you feel good, it makes you look good, like it makes you process things quicker, whatever the circumstance may be. Gratitude. Now, this is something I've been lacking on recently. It really has. I've kind of been focusing on the hard things, and I feel like I have a habit of waiting until things go wrong to start gratitude again. And it's not that I don't do gratitude every day. I do gratitude every day, but like when negative things happen, I tend to focus on the negative thing instead of being grateful for the things that are happening, you know. So it's like, say like situation's just gone down the drain, and then I'll just focus on that. Whereas today I've tried to be like, oh, like, you know, like my friends love me though, and like my family love me, and like I love me, and like how could I be sad? Or maybe not how could I be sad, but like how could I be upset about someone not picking me right now, when I come home, like my dogs literally run after me and like go and find me little presents, and you know, like there's so many good things to make me feel good. Like I often find myself like in the car, like my favorite song will be on, or a song that I like will be on, and instead of listening to it, like I'll be like in my head about something, and I'll be like, wait, now, like genuinely in this moment, like nothing is wrong, like I am thinking up a storm, nothing is wrong, my favorite song is on, I'm gonna be here in the car, I'm gonna be here with myself, and I am going to just be here with my favorite song on, singing it in the car, and nothing is wrong in that moment, and I'm perfectly happy, you know, just being present. But yeah, like when you feel gratitude, like gratitude is a very high vibration, and when you feel it, more things that you're grateful for are going to come to you. And I often find this a very like difficult concept to grasp, because I feel like it's not healthy to not ever feel anything negative, but I feel like I've read it somewhere, like negative feelings aren't negative feelings, like they're just lower vibrations, like we make them negative, we give them that meaning, like it's okay to feel them, we just have to feel them so that they don't stay there. But yeah, I'm not going to confuse you. Showing up as the person you want to be. Now, again, this is something you should be consistent in, and this is something that I've been trying to do recently. And yeah, one of my best friends literally gave me one of the best pieces of advice ever the other day. And we were in the car, and I was really upset, and I was really trying to like make a decision about something, and she was like, look, she was like, is this what you want for yourself? And I was like, no. And she was like, so this isn't what you want for yourself? And I was like, no. She was like, then it's a no. And I was like, yeah. She was like, why? Like, why would you ever like settle in anything that you don't want for yourself? Like, whether that be a job, where you live, friendships, relationships, why would you ever settle for anything that isn't, that you know you don't want for yourself? And like, you know, because what you want is out there. And I was like, do you know what, like absolutely yes, like you are so right, and I've never thought about it like that. Like, why would you ever settle for less than you deserve in any aspect of your life when what you deserve is out there. So you might as well wait for it. You know, like the only thing you're doing by settling in something that you don't deserve in that area of your life is postponing what is actually for you, you know? Food for thought. And yeah, so anyway, how this links in with showing up as the person that you want to be is I just thought to myself, like deep down I knew that this wasn't for me, and I was just like, would the best version of myself accept this? Would she accept this? And I was like, no, I don't think she would. And why would I not act as her when that's who I want to be? You know, like, I know I will get to her one day, but in order to do that, I have to act in alignment with what she would want, you know, with what that version of me would want. And if this situation, whatever area of your life it may be in, is not in alignment with what that person would accept or what that person would want, then you need to dead it, you know. But if you don't consistently do this, you're not going to get there. And I'm not saying I haven't consistently done it, you know, we all have slip-ups and that's fine. Investing in products that work for you. So yeah, again, this is a good one. I feel like we've all fallen victim to like buying like the cheaper like skincare and like whatever else, you know, whether it be clothes, whether it be shoes, like perfume, whatever. I feel like we've all fallen victim to that, and I feel like sometimes like when something really works for you, like it's worth the investment. And like you shouldn't, especially with like skincare, like you shouldn't really like mess around with it too much. Like when you find something that works for you, like keep it until maybe it doesn't work for you anymore, because obviously our skin changes as we get older and stuff. Like the stuff that worked for me when I was younger doesn't work for me now, you know, and that's annoying. But then you just have to keep trying to find the things that work for you. But yeah, I feel like that is worth the investment, you know, and I feel like that's worth being consistent with, because again, it's how you feel about yourself, it's how you feel about your skin, it's how you feel about your body, like it's how you feel about your sense of style. Like you, if you invest in something that you know is going to last a lot longer than maybe something that you bought off Shein, you know, like again, it's not always the case, I'm not saying it's always the case, but it's just an example. Hair oiling, yeah, this is one I've been doing for, when did I start hair oiling? I want to say 2022, I think 2022 I started hair oiling. I wish I could kind of show you what my hair looked like before versus now. It's crazy, it's crazy. I remember saying to my hairdresser, I was like, if I start hair oiling, like, do you think it'll do anything for me? Because I've always had like, well, I haven't always had, but since I was a teenager, like I've had like quite like brittle, like long hair but dead hair, thin brittle dead hair, you know, and it was, yeah, I was gonna say it was very thin. I've just said that about 6 times. Yeah, and I remember saying to her, I was like, oh, do you think if I like start oiling my hair, like it will make a difference? And she was like, no. She was like, I don't believe in all of that stuff, like blah blah blah. And I was like, do you know what, like everyone on TikToks, like, and this is before like hair syrup or anything was like a big thing. I started off with Nature's Spell rosemary oil before like hair syrup and all that became a thing. And I was like, well, everyone's saying that like it's working really well and stuff, so I was like, I'm gonna try it. So I did try it and it worked, like lo and behold it worked. And then I started using hair syrup and it worked even more. And even my hairdresser was like, that's crazy, like she was like, honestly, like when you asked me that, like I honestly wanted to say to you, like don't buy into it, like it's, you can't change your hair, but you can, and it's because you're looking after it, you know. And like if you consistently do it, like when I first started I did it twice a week, and then once it started growing and like getting thicker, like I started doing it once a week. But yeah, like it works, like the investment and the consistency, like it works, you know. Daily routines, yeah, this is a big one. I feel like when I went through my breakup, so over 3 years ago now, I had a daily routine and it was so strict. It was so strict. Like I'm not, your daily routine doesn't need to be that strict. I was so heartbroken and like so empty. I know it sounds really sad, but like I didn't know how to do life without that person. And I was just so empty that I was like, I have to fill every part of my day, like not even in an unhealthy way, just like I just had to fill every part of my day. So like I wake up, I do my morning routine, I would go to the gym, I would go for a walk, I would go for a coffee, I would make lunch, I would journal, I would meditate, I would then like spend time with my friends and whatever, like I would go food shopping, like whatever I needed to do. I would like watch a video, watch a film, like make my dinner, and then like I would do all my bedtime routine, you know. Yeah, so I had to have my days planned out to a T, and it really helped me to develop routines. So now I have like my morning routine, my day just kind of goes however my day goes these days, but I have my morning routine and I have my nighttime routine, and it's like helped me to plan things, like plan my meals for the week, like plan when I'm going to the gym, like and this and that, and like what I'm gonna do. And like, yeah, I just feel like planning things and like planning your weeks and stuff in advance, like it does go a long way, you know. And I feel like it really helps you to get to where you want to be, and yeah, kind of become like, I mean, if you want to anyway, become like a what's the word? Become like an organised person, if that's what you want. I know that's just not how some people are naturally, but if you wanted to become one, because I wasn't organised at all in the least. The content you consume. So yeah, I feel like the content you consume is a big thing. And I feel like I've been rinsing TikTok recently. When I get sad, I rinse TikTok because it just gives me like some sort of comfort, and I don't know if it's something to do with like the dopamine hit that it gives you or whatever, I don't really know, but yeah. So anyways, the content you consume is very important. You know, like if you're just consuming like shit all the time, like negative stuff, like the news, like you are just going to feel negative all the time. Whereas if you are consuming information about like positive things and like positive affirmations and like manifestation and like whatever you're interested in, like science, like sports, I don't know. But yeah, so the content you consume is very important, and it does kind of frame like what you think about and what your life looks like. Sorry, it's about to get very loud. So I've lost my track of thought. But yeah, so I feel like creating your For You page or like staying off of social media sometimes, like I'm gonna try my best to stay off social media, like not be on there like all the time. Yeah, and like the films you watch and like the people you spend time with and like what you talk about, like these are all things that you're bringing into your life and like giving energy to, you know. So choose it wisely. The next point, the people you have around you, you know, your beliefs are going to be very similar to their beliefs, probably the way that they behave, maybe the way that you behave. And I know this isn't always the case, but you know, your brains do become synced with the people that you are around, and like you are very likely to have the same habits because they are going to influence you when you spend a lot of your time with them. So yeah, just be mindful. How you spend your time planning. So yeah, nice. Yeah, I've kind of touched on that already, you know, with the daily routines. But you know, even if you have like a a diary, you know, like where you just know everything is, you know what you're doing, like you know what time you're going to dedicate to what, just things like that, and like being consistent with it too. Manifestation and journaling. Now this is something I'm trying to get back into, but it did trigger me a little bit. Like sometimes, like especially having an anxious attachment style, like law of assumption and like law of attraction can trigger me, because I'm like, do I just manifest situations to end poorly or negatively because I'm worried that they're going to? Do you know what I mean? And like I don't feel like that's fair, like it's not a nice thing, because like that's just how my brain is wired, and I've tried so hard to not think that about certain situations, but it's very difficult. So like sometimes that stuff is like very triggering for me, and like it's very hard, because I do believe that there's someone out there for me, and I do believe that like one day like somebody will like be the perfect, not the perfect person, but the perfect person for me, you know, like I believe that person is out there. But like because I have an anxious attachment, like whenever I meet someone, and whether it's because they aren't the right person, I don't know, but like it gets activated when I start to see signs, and sometimes like it's just like a normal thing and I take it completely the wrong way, and then I'm like, oh my god, I've ruined things, like, and I completely spiral. And then I'm like, oh my god, like I've manifested for this to happen, because I knew it was gonna happen, like I thought it was gonna happen, like I tried to reassure myself, and it just really sends me into a panic and a spiral, and I feel like that's another reason why I'm so drained at the moment. But yeah, like I feel like if you're in a good headspace with it, like it can be a good thing to do, and like this is something that I want to do for other areas of my life. I feel like that area of my life I kind of just have to leave it be. But yes, and journaling, like I do it every morning, I do it every night, I do it when I feel ways that I don't want to feel, or like I feel like I don't want to cry, because it's like an emotional release, you know. Yeah, your space, again, clear space, clear mind, and I understand that can be difficult, but even just having a space that like you enjoy being in, you know, like that in itself is just a nice thing, you know. And like just, you know, having nice bed sheets, like cleaning, hoovering, you know, like making things look how you want them to look, so that you feel good when you enter your space, and then like you just feel happy as well, you feel happy or you feel cozy, you know. It's very important to have a clear space. I feel it's very detrimental for my mental health personally. And then I've put looking back. I'm not really sure what that means. I feel like that means stop looking back. You know, like there's nothing for you there, girl. You know, like I feel like you kind of need to just leave the past where the past is, and just kind of know that like everything's gonna work out for you, and you just do need to have the utmost faith. Shut up. Shut up. No, but like you do need to have the utmost faith that like everything's gonna be okay, and everything is gonna work out in your favor, whether you feel that way right now or whether you don't. Like there's what was meant for you will not miss you, and whatever misses you just create space for what's meant for you. So just be yourself, you know, and just see what comes your way, and if it's for you then great, and if it's not, just enjoy the experience whilst it lasts, you know. But yes, those are my tips on the ultimate glow up, and I know this has been a very long one, and I'm very sorry about that, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped. And yeah, this is how I feel I've bettered myself, and how I feel like it's made me become more of a secure, stable person. So yeah, thank you very much for watching or listening, and I know I should have said this at the beginning, but if you're watching, if you could like and subscribe and maybe comment, that would be great. And if you are listening, if you could leave me a review or a rating, that would also be great. And I will leave my socials